Hey everybody, what's going on? Steve Kreiner, the Dog Soldier here. Welcome to the Dog Soldier Brand Podcast. Now, today we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but most importantly, I'm going to talk to you about, we're going to talk about everything, but I'm going to talk to you about what I think is the most important part of the off season. And the second most important thing is I'm actually going to be interacting with the people watching live on the Dog Soldier app right now. It all starts right now. Don't go nowhere.
Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. It is, June 12th, I think. June 12th. And get all that legal bullshit out of the way. So I'm drinking Diet Pepsi, and I am smoking a badass blend from Sheridan, Wyoming, out of a pipe that I actually custom made for Brian Kinney. And when I talk guns, I like to smoke this pipe because he sent it back. He quit smoking and he sent it back. But anyway, this podcast, as always, is brought to you by CoyoteCalls.com, your official stop for Dog Soldier approved gear. There's absolutely everything there that I use. Scopes, second zeros, bino packs, shooting sticks, maybe guns, all kinds of shit. CoyoteCalls.com. And most importantly, right there at CoyoteCalls.com, you will find the Legend Series hand calls. The Legend Series hand calls are proven to be some of the most effective hand calls in the industry. Dog Soldier Armory. DogSoldierArmory.com is just a sister brand of Dog Soldier. It's the same thing. I own it. DogSoldierArmory.com is going to take you to an info page, tell you a little bit about us, tell you a little bit about our mission, tell you a little bit about our guns, and then it's going to take you to the landing page, and it's badass. Also, Axionoptics.com. Axionoptics.com, excuse me. Axionoptics.com is who is building the Dog Soldier scope. Now, the cool thing about the Dog Soldier scope is we designed it how I thought I would like a scope to be for predator hunting, and we hit the nail on the head. There's over 300 in circulation in the last 6 months. We've only got one back, and that wasn't from a defect. That was just because the guy didn't like the reticle, and it's got the Steve Kreiner warranty. If you go to Dog Soldier Armory or CoyoteCalls.com and order that scope and you get it and you don't like it, within 24 hours, send that son of a bitch back. I'll refund it, no questions asked. But also on Axionoptics.com, there's all kinds of price point optics that are very, very good. I actually shot 2 seasons of TV with a $140 scope and dropped it off a high rack, and it lived through it. So keep in mind, Axionoptics.com for all your scope needs. Umarex USA, if you're an airgun guy, or if you watch me on Real Airgun Hunting and you want to see some of the shit I shoot, UmarexUSA.com is the place to go for all your airgun needs. Now, we got that shit out of the way. Today on the live feed, today on the podcast, we are actually doing a live feed as well. On the live feed, when are the new calls going to be available? Live stream has finished here. I miss you at Deer Classic. I miss you too. I agree with Southern Coyote. What is Southern Coyote saying? Damn, I must be drunk. I can't type. Put the strippers in the background while we wait. So you guys on the live stream, comment 1, 2, 3 if you can see me. Let me know if you got good audio and good video. Now, for you guys watching the podcast later on YouTube or even the Dog Soldier app or Facebook, make sure to download the Dog Soldier Predator Hunters app. You can find this on any iOS system, pretty much your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. You can find all this cool shit on this app. And when you go to the app, it's going to ask you to pay $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month, or $24.99 a year. What that does is it pays my fees to have the app up. It pays my fees for development and all that other cool shit that we have to do when when we're having an app like this. And the app pretty much is a community app. For you guys watching this video on YouTube, you could be watching it live right now. We do what we want, how we want, when we want. There's nobody doing anything or policing this except for me. And if you're a complete asshole or a dickhead, yeah, I'm going to do something about it. But really, people's opinions matter to me. People's thoughts matter to me. And what truly people believe in matter to me, even if I don't agree with it sometimes. And trust me, I've seen on the app sometimes people say bonehead shit, and I'm just like, whatever. If he's comfortable with saying it, I'm comfortable with it, whatever. So now, here's the deal. So just go get the fucking app, okay? I'm done trying to sell you my app. These guys watching, you're going to see me doing this shit. These guys watching live right here are my people. They're my family. And just like you guys watching this video later on Facebook, you guys are my people. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys are my people. If you click and give me the time of day to spend time with you or to spew my absolute sometimes bullshit at you, you're my people, and I really, truly hardcore believe it. You know, our mission here at Dog Soldier is, we've been called many a times the people's predator hunter. And I had a discussion with Graybo. What brought up this podcast is I was talking to Graybo Stocks the other day, and actually they're thinking about making me a Graybo shooter. And, you know, I've used all their products. I use their stocks. I like their stocks. But more importantly, what turned me on to them is said the people's rifle stock. They care about price point, and they care about getting them prices down without let's see here, sacrificing quality and integrity. And that's what turned me on to them as well. And, you know, that's what we do here. Like, we've got a scope, a $250 scope that I could put a $1,000 price tag on, and people would probably buy it. Maybe not as many, I don't know. But you wouldn't tell the difference between what I have it priced at now and what I would price it at $1,000. I mean, this thing will sit next to any $1,000 scope and be as good or better. And that's what we do here at Dog Soldier with the help of Axion. Bog shooting sticks, you know, they're very affordable. They're the best I've used. I've tried a lot of shit. And when I try something, I like it. It don't necessarily mean, if I use it, it don't necessarily mean they're paying me. The days of the sponsorships are fucking over. Facebook has taken over the world. Instagram, Instagram influencers have taken over the world. What this means is if somebody sends you something free, or especially if you got, and I'm not being sexist here, but if you're a hot chick and you can wear a bikini and put yourself on the front of a boat with a fly rod or a spinning reel or a bait caster and you're catching big old bass and holding them up, or if you're on the range in a really nice sports bra showing your ass, you're going to get free shit. And you're going to get lots of eyeballs. But what these companies don't understand is you're not really selling anything for them. What guys especially, the only thing you're branding into their eyeballs is the thought of what you look like without your clothes on. That's just the simple fact. And so I have sponsors. Bog has been one of the forefathers. They've been here since day one, Codwell Bog. And Axion have been here ever since they were developed. I helped them come up with the brand as far as the products. Umarex USA has been here from day one. Let's see here. MFK Game Calls have been here since day one. And MFK is not a sponsor. They're family. So what I'm getting at is I do have my forefather sponsors and stuff like that. And, you know, we still do that, but I ain't out fishing for shit. I ain't out fishing for a check. My main goal here at Dog Soldier and CoyoteCalls.com helps me do that, is when I find a product that actually is worth a shit, I sell it. And I make money just like any other store. But if I truly believe in it, I'll show it to my people and I'll talk to them about it and I'll teach them about it. And that's why we're in the gun business now. I was with Winchester for fucking years, man. I shot Winchester ammo longer than any outdoor television personality in history. And they fired me because I was being too American. But anyway, that's another story. We should really do a podcast just on that conversation. It'll probably get my ass sued, but it would be really funny. But anyway, that's why we're in the gun business now. I want people to have a good quality rifle without spending a lot of money. And I'm not saying you can't get a good quality rifle for 600, 700, 800 bucks or even 500. Look at the Ruger Americans. They're bad fucking ass. But if you want something special, if you want something that's yours, if you want something that'll last a lifetime, if you want something you can hand down to your kids, if you want something fucking epic, used to you would have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. A good custom built rifle is going to, I mean, it's 3,800 or above. Right now, my highest price point rifle is a $3,750 gun, and the only reason it's $3,750 is because it has an aluminum chassis. I'm not a big chassis guy, so I really stock up and I buy a lot of Grabo terrains in bulk, which is kind of like your M24, your model, your Monte Carlo style stock. They're really awesome. So I'm looking on the app here. James Childers is doing exactly what he always does. He's flipping everybody off. Billy Aiken, he's wearing his dog soldier hat, watching the podcast. I can shoot in a swimsuit. I don't get free stuff. You probably would. Do the podcast about Winchester. Just say, John. Yeah, no shit, Bolin. No freaking shit. Yeah, so I posted a picture one time on Instagram. Spike Davis drew a picture, a cartoon of me in a bikini, and it said, spread them to 30 campaign. And it didn't work for me. What I was getting spread them to 30 is I wanted to get 30,000 likes, and I was going to give a bunch of free shit. And, of course, I didn't even get 200 likes. But I really like this pipe. It's really badass. So if you guys are watching on the live feed right now or on the secondhand video, everybody on the app knows Brian Kinney. He's a badass gun builder. So 30,000 likes. She gave me 30,000 in a second. MCD story. Yes, I did finish the McDonald's story. It is on the last podcast. So for all you lazy assholes, go to the last podcast or click the link I posted in the app. And it's on YouTube as well. So what I'm going to get at, our mission here is just taking care of the people, get them good products they can afford. I got a message today by a badass motherfucker, and I like the shit out of him. I've never met him. He's an online acquaintance, and he's on the app. And he's like, man, what you're doing is really cool. I bought several products off of you, and they're top-notch. Keep up the good work. And that really meant a lot to me because that's what we're doing here. That's, I don't want my ass patted. I don't want treated like a rock star. I don't want treated like a king. I just want treated like somebody that truly cares. If you message me, I answer back. If you call me, I answer the phone. If you email me, I email you back. There's not very many people in our industry at the level that, and I'm not saying this arrogantly, at the level I'm at and the followers that I have that are able to do that. And I've been able to maintain that for about 12 years now, and I take a lot of pride in it. 12 years ago is about when shit got out of hand. The first 3 or 4 years before that, nobody really knew who the fuck I was, So anyway, we talked about the app. Download the fucking app. Watch your shit live. Let me talk to you. Let me get to know you. Let you guys get to know me. Calls. I seen a question on the app a while ago. When are the new calls coming out? This Corona shit has slowed down shit drastically. We were going to do a new dual mod pack. That has slowed down. We were going to do some new calls. That is slowed down. I don't know if we'll have new calls by the fall. I hope we do. If we do, it's just going to be one model. It'll be high-end polished machine acrylic, and it'll be in the price point of around $65, and it'll be just like every other fucking call that you give a lot of money for and that's built like a brick shit house. Sounds good. You'll have this thing for hundreds of years if your family don't lose it. And that sounds high, but it's not really high because I'm going to custom make the call, or I'm going to make the call and then I'm going to have it reproduced at the machine shop and then I'll finish it out. I would make this call and auction it for $250 to $300 probably on my fan page all day long. It's going to be a super call. It'll be under the Steve Kreiner World Championship Predator Calls line, and it's going to be badass. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the app. Hell yeah, James. That's what I'm drinking now. Right, James. Diet Pepsi. What the fuck? Get you a Dr. Pepper, asshole. God, we love James. The app loves James. Me and James would probably get along really good in real life. I ain't patting your ass, boss man. I just tell like it is. Yeah, Billy, and I appreciate that. I really do. You're super cool, dude, and we like having you around. So the deal with the app, there's 800 subscribers right now, but what's cool about it is there's several that are active, completely active, and I'm getting ready to do a score system where you can actually rank like the number one poster, the number one conversationalist in the app. I'm actually going to start, I'll probably turn that on today. And what that'll mean is every time you post or every time you do shit, you get points. I like to see people post. I don't like to see bullshit, but I like to see people post and have true, sincere, good quality posts. I even like some of the memes and the fun shit all the time. This is pretty much, I hate to use the word Facebook, but it's like our private Facebook. We pretty much do what we want. And that's what I like about it. Let's see here. Amen, Southern Coyote. Drinking whiskey is healthier. Yeah, it probably is. It burns that crone out of you. Dude, I have to have diet. I'm 41 years old. If I don't drink Diet Pepsi, my ass will get fat. And I ain't hitting the gym like I should be. Like, I go to the gym like once a year. So, and even though I don't inhale, I smoke a pipe. I mean, I'm just kind of like chilling, you know. So, that's some good tobacco. So, for you guys listening to this on iTunes and Google Play, the podcast, I wish you was here. Like, I'm making funny faces, and my eyebrows are fucking weird looking, and you can see the American flags in the background. I mean, we're just doing American shit, and I know you guys like listening to this shit, but if you can ever watch it, download the app and watch this shit live. We have so much fun. So much fun. Let's see here. All the old farts around here drink that shit, too. Well, I'm fucking old, man. Jesus. Okay, so moving right along. I want to talk about what the most important thing is in the off season. And we talked about calls. Well, before we start talking about guns, I want to talk to you about something I believe is very important, and that's practice. This is the most simple shit to talk about in the fucking world. Okay, it's not really rocket science. It's common sense, really. So every year at the beginning of the winter, we have what we call shakedown stands. Like, the first stand of the year is always fucked up. I mean, it's like you're clanking shit all the way to the stand. Your backpack's unorganized. You're out of canter. You can't walk in the sagebrush. And what I found to help me throughout the years is in the off season, I do a lot of hiking. And it's like, the podcast we did a while back on plate carriers. Like, having a backpack full of hunting shit or a rifle on your back is kind of like, hunting is kind of like having a plate carrier and shit's about to hit the fan moment. You don't know how to handle yourself. You're out of whack. It takes you a while to get used to shit. And I do a lot of hiking in the summer with my backpack, with my plate carriers. Same principle, okay? Shooting, and this is the most basic thing. We've heard it from ever since we was a kid. We've heard practice how you hunt, shoot your bow like you hunt, shoot your bow sitting on your ass like if you're in a deer stand. It's common sense. But we're getting ready to talk about guns, and that is probably what I think the most important thing is in the off season to really practice. I mean, it's common sense to practice all this other shit, but you just automatically think that a gun does what it's supposed to do. You put the crosshairs on the coyote and you shoot, it falls down, end of story. Well, that's not so much the case sometimes. Even with like a 22 Creedmoor or 22 250, something really flat, something really awesome, you're dead on at 200, less than 3 inches low, or right at 3 inches low at 300. That is fucking amazing ballistics, right? And you think you wouldn't miss, but you can. A coyote is only like 8 or 9 inches from the top of back to the plate of the chest. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less in most cases. And what I'm getting at, what I'm getting at is you have to practice. There's a big difference between 200 and 300 yards, and there's a big difference between 0 and 3 inches low. Okay, I do a lot of shooting off shooting sticks, leaning up against my tire and my pickup, just like I was in a tree. I do a lot of shooting off shooting sticks, sitting on my ass, like I was in the bare open. A lot of you guys see me on video. I'll sit right in the middle of the bare open because I know how to handle coyotes. I know that if they're moving, I can get away with a little bit. Can't get away with no noise. Can't get away with being seen, but I can get away with a little bit. So in the off season, make sure that you're shooting your gun. Make sure you know the ballistics. You should have a dope chart in your head. A dope chart is the ballistics on your gun. If you're zeroed in at 200 yards, you're 3 inches low, for instance, at 300 yards, or zeroed at 2, 3 inches low at 300, 10 inches low at 400, 18 inches low at 500. You know, you can have all this shit figured out. And then if you're using a dog soldier scope and it has a mil dot reticle, it is very important to know how to use them mil dots at what range. 3.6 inches from mil to mil at 100 yards on 10 power, okay? Mil to mil at 200 yards, 7.2. It's just common sense, double, double, double. 300 yards, it's 9, 10, a little over 10 inches. I have to do the math. 400 yards, 7.2 plus 7.2 is 14.4. So anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. Practice, practice, practice. Get to know your guns. Get to know your ballistics. Get to know your dope charts, because them coyotes pop up anywhere. And in today's world, they're not as enthusiastic as they used to be because they're pressured. So we're going to start really diving into long-range shooting and long-range hunting on Podcast Yet to Hunt. The reason why I'm wanting to talk about guns, not because I'm trying to sell you a gun, but I want to talk about guns so I can tell you what I'm up to when it comes to guns. So what I'm doing with the guns is, here's the lowdown. Right now, I have a workhorse model, which is priced at $1,850. The $1,850 gun is badass. I hear something in my mic. What the fuck? Yeah, see, if you were watching this shit live, maybe it's this damn elk necklace. Yep, that's what it was. So anyway, I build a workhorse model at $1,850, and I also build one off of an impact action that is going to be $3,450. Now, here's the deal. The impact action gun is badass. I'm going to tell you why I'm using the impact action, and I'm going to tell you about the workhorse as well and why I'm using the workhorse. Let's see here. Okay. So, the workhorse model, just taking some notes. So the workhorse model is a trued and blueprinted 700 action, a Graybow terrain stock with Graybow bottom metal, a Timney trigger, and a tactical ordnance barrel. Now, a lot of people want to know, why is it cheaper than the Legend Maker? I'm going to tell you why. So the Legend Makers were built to order. You ordered a Legend Maker, and we ordered the parts, and we built the gun. Brian built the gun, okay? So the $2,300 custom gun was badass, but the problem is we failed. We didn't fail on building quality guns. We didn't fail on building great guns. We just failed on the $2,300 part. There's no way that I can get a gun like that built for $2,300. Matter of fact, that gun is going to be, from now on, $2,850. But we are not selling the Legend Makers now, and I will tell you why here in just 2 seconds. So the workhorse model with its tactical ordnance barrel, everything, it's pretty much a Legend Maker except for 2 things. One, it's not Cerakoted or Duracoated. You have to do that on your own if you want that. The action is blued with DS Armory engraved in the side, and the action is not milled like the Legend Maker, so that saves some money. And also, it has a stainless steel tactical ordnance barrel. Now, you guys can get these Cerakoted or Duracoated, that's fine, or you can pay me $200 extra and I'll have the Duracoater or Cerakote guy do it for you. And I can do that as well. Not any fancy designs or nothing, just one color. I prefer you to buy the gun and then take it to your guy. That way you can do it. Tracy right now has bought a workhorse, and she's having Cerakote chick out of Texas do some amazing shit to it. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit how we was able to get the price point down on the workhorse. So it's a Legend Maker without a machined action. That means it ain't a milled action with Legend Maker on the side. It's just a straight trued and blueprinted 700 action, regular bolt with DS Armory laser engraved on it. Now, okay, the barrel is stainless, so it's not Cerakoted. But let's talk about the Tactical Ordnance barrel. Very good barrel, very good in performance. The quality's there, the integrity's there, everything you want in a barrel. How I was able to get the price point down is these are what they call pre-fit barrels. And for some of you guys at home that don't understand what a pre-fit barrel is, if you buy a Savage Model 10 or any Savage gun whatsoever, they have a barrel, and you see the nut-looking thing on the front of the action. That is what you, well, now they're called a rimmage nut. But anyway, so that Savage nut, what happens is I use special gauges. I take the barrel in the action. I get the headspace perfectly right, and then the nut screws up to the action in the lug, the recoil lug, and that's what, that's how to assemble the barrel, just like a Savage. Savage, for everybody out there, knows that they are fucking badass out of the box. They fail in a lot of other areas, kind of in quality areas when it comes to triggers and stocks and stuff like that. But so pretty much what this is a Legend Maker that ain't Cerakoted, it don't have a milled action, and it has a pre-fit barrel. The reason the pre-fit barrel works for this model is because I was able to buy them in bulk. I buy them in lots. Now, that holds me back in two ways. For one way, that holds me back is I could charge a lot more money if I was cutting the threads, reaming the barrels myself, and doing everything. I could make a lot more money. But that holds me back, which is fine, whatever. Another thing that holds me back, buying barrels in lots, I have to buy calibers. So, like the first set of barrels I got are 22 250s. The reason why I got 22 250s is because that's my go-to caliber. I love a 22 250. It's very popular. Factory ammunition is widely available. And so I got this first lot of barrels in 22 250. Now I've got one, two, I think I've got 3 of them sold, so I have 2 more left. If I don't sell them by the time I get them built, I'm going to raffle them off on the Dog Soldier app. So what I'll do is I'll sell 100 tickets for $20, and then we'll raffle it off, and somebody's going to win a free workhorse. Actually, 2 people will win a free workhorse if I don't get them sold before I get them built. That's kind of the deal with the workhorses. I don't want you guys to be afraid. Let's see here. Be right back. Got to reboot my phone. You keep freezing on my end. I've been trying not to ask this, but I can't hold back anymore. What does blueprinted mean? I'm back after business call. Did I miss anything? Hell yeah, you missed everything, childers. So blueprinted, so trued and blueprinted, I mean your true and lugs, your lapping, everything is like this. Okay, we need to do a podcast with Brian as well. He can explain this shit a lot better. But everything is trued. When you buy a factory gun, that's one thing about factory guns. They're mass-produced, so your lugs ain't square. Your recoil lugs ain't square. Your threads on your action are not square. Nothing is square on a gun. So pretty much what you're truing up the action. You're lapping the lugs. Some people put new extractors in there. I mean, you're making this gun like it was hand built. And if you take the bolt face, for instance, or the lugs, but a bolt face, and true that bolt face, you wouldn't. When you're taking your tool and truing this, you would not believe how much you'll take off of one side and not even touch the other side. And I mean, it might be just, hundreds of thousands or whatever, but it makes a huge difference. Okay. So the workhorse model, another good thing about the workhorse model, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You can buy a Trude and blueprinted action. You can buy a Graybow terrain stock, Graybow bottom metal, Timney trigger, a tactical ordnance barrel, and you can build this at home, okay? You can build the gun actually at home. That's why I'm not charging you, and this is another good thing about the workhorse. I am absolutely charging no shop time to put this gun together right. And you will have to invest in about $300 worth of tools to be able to do this, but you could do it yourself at home. Another good thing about the workhorse, if you don't want a 22-250 no more, for about 450 bucks, actually for about 450, 500 bucks, you could send the gun back to me and I could rechamber it in 2 seconds for you, or sell you a barrel and a set of gauges, and you could do it yourself. That's what's cool about the workhorse. You could actually change it around long as you picked a caliber with the same bolt face. These are very proven systems. I know a buddy of mine that has shot within an eighth of an inch of the world record at 1,000 yards with a pre-fit barrel gun. So, I mean, this is not old technology. This is great technology. They're fucking accurate. Everything about it is a good deal. And more importantly, what you're getting is what you're getting. You guys could buy this shit and build it at home. I'm saving you $300 worth of tools and investment, and I'm saving you peace of mind because I will do it right, and I'll shoot it, and it will be perfect when you get it. So James says he don't. So if you guys are listening right now on the app, James said he don't think he could put a 5-year-old's puzzle together. So he's not gonna take on this task of building a workhorse himself. You know, that's why I'm building workhorses. That's the only way I can get the price point down. Now I could be a retail gun guy and sell you a Bagara HMR, which is a 100 marksman rifle, or a Savage 10. You know, you're gonna spend $1,000. They're great rifles, but they're factory fucking guns, which there ain't nothing wrong with a factory gun, but I promise you, once you get a workhorse in your hand, or once you get the M-AK in your hand, I'll talk about the M-AK or the Mac here in a minute. I'll talk about the Mac here in a minute. But anyway, the workhorse model, I will still build these models forever. A lot of gun builders don't build the workhorse, they don't call them workhorses. A lot of reason gun builders don't use pre-fit barrels is because they think it takes the nostalgia out of a custom gun. That is not fully true. You would not believe how many PRS guys shoot pre-fit barrels. You would not believe how many long distance guys shoot pre-fit barrels. The reason why is because if you're shooting a 6mm 284 hot as fuck and you're shooting 1,000-yard matches, or PRS shooting 200 rounds a day, your barrel's not going to last long and you need to change that fucker quick. All you got to do is send me the action back. I do my thing, and then I send it right back. It's that quick. I mean, it's really that quick. Now, if you need me to get a different caliber for you, it takes a while to get the calibers, and it takes a while to get the barrels and shit like that, just like anything else. But hopefully when I get rolling, and if the workhorse models does as good as I think, I will have an assortment of barrels. I will tell you guys right now, I would be glad to sell you a Graybow stock, Graybow bottom metal, Timney trigger, barrel, and everything, and you can put it together yourself. I can package it all up in a box, and I'll send it to your gunsmith, your FFL, and you can put it together yourself. You're just going to have to buy some gauges, and you're going to have to buy about $300 worth of tools, which is perfectly fine. It's a badass hobby to get into. It's badass. But I'm going to give you the peace of mind that it's going to be badass, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be Dog Soldier approved. Yeah, Bagara is a great gun. It's a factory gun. And I wasn't a huge custom guy until last year, and when we started building guns, my life changed forever. There's just something about the feel, the touch, everything. It's just amazing. Dale Adam asked how much, he's asking on the app because he's watching live. For all you guys listening to this shit, you should have the app. Dale Adams is asking how much they weigh. So the workhorse model weighs about 8.5, 9 pounds. You got about 3.5 pounds on the stock, and then you got a little over 4 or so, 5 on the action and barrel. They're Senduro contoured varmint barrels, and they are threaded for a suppressor. Yeah, Luna is watching the podcast live right now, loading up some 204 ammo. So anyway, if you buy a workhorse from me, that does not mean you're buying a lesser or a less quality model. That just means you're buying a model that I can actually get parts for in bulk. Now, um, I'm going to keep doing the workhorse model even after I really ramp up and start building the Max. I want to talk to you about the Max. And so the M-AK model is a impact precision action, a preferred barrels barrel, and the action is nitride, which is looks black, and the barrels are chromoly blued. You can get these Cerakoted if you want, or I can get them Cerakoted for you, whatever. They are threaded, and they come in a Grayboe terrain with Grayboe bottom metal, Timney trigger. Now, these come with bases because the action is a fully 100% machined custom action with integrated weaver rails on top. They are badass. These actions have an integrated recoil lug, which is badass. They have trigger hangers, which is badass. Means you can switch trigger out in 2 seconds. Badass. The reason why they're called Max, M-AK, mean as fuck. Yeah. Actually, it's not K, it's MF. You get my point. So, I say Max, it's MAFs. But anyway, and I'm not sure if I'm going to call them that yet. We ain't decided what we're going to do yet on that model. I will have actions Monday, and I'll have barrels soon. You guys will see these guns. They're freaking badass. Got the regular barrels that any other gun would. They're not pre-fit barrels. But these actions for PRS guys are preferred because they're so tight and tolerant that if you buy a M-AF off me, and if you guys buy these off of me, okay, and you take them home and you got one of them high-powered guns, or let's just say you shoot out a barrel someday or you damage a barrel, I can actually build a barrel for you here and ship you the barrel. I don't have to have your action back. I mean, that's how tight and tolerant these are. I said it before and I'll say it again. If Steve wasn't even active on this app, it's worth way more than the price he asked because all the hunting knowledge on here from all the members. No disrespect to you, Steve, just saying how awesome this app is. Thanks, Billy. I appreciate that, man. Heck yeah, that's awesome. And that's what I like. I mean, I'm not a god. I'm not an expert. I'm just a successful predator hunter that has made a living shooting outdoor television TV. I'm more of an entertainer than anything, but I have been blessed with the ability to be a good marketing guy and a good manufacturer, which means I can take care of the people. That's what I'm most proud of. Just like these guns, guys. I'm buying actions by the shit tons. That gets prices down. I'm buying barrels by the shit tons. That gets prices down. And what I can do is I can pass that on. You are not my MAF model. I'm calling it that right now, mean as fuck. So my MAF, okay? I don't even know why I said Max a while ago. I'm just brain dead. So anyway, the MAF model, here's the deal, okay? You will not find another gun builder that can build you. Well, they can, but you can't find a gun like this for $34.50. I mean, this is a badass motherfucker. I was gonna call it BAM F, but there's already a gun out on the market called that. So I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but so these guns are gonna be great, and I mean they are great. You guys have seen the Legend Makers. The T2V, a lot of people seen that picture the other day. It's sitting in a chassis. Me and Brian built that gun, and a lot of people's like, man, how much is that one? That is not available yet. That's a full carbon build. I don't know what we're going to do with that yet. So, Breaker 19. 10-4, good buddy. Steve kind of looks like a truck driver at a truck stop with his headset on. I know, right? You know, the reason I'm doing this is because the audio on that podcast is fucking badass. I'm an audio junkie too. So that's the deal with the guns, guys. Um, you know, I'm just trying to pass on value. I'm making good investments and I'm making good moves. And I think Dog Soldier and the Dog Soldier Armory brand is going to be very well known in the custom gun industry very soon. The reason why is because everybody can afford a workhorse. If you can buy $1,000 Bagara, you're going to have a good gun, but save up just a little more and get you a great gun. The M-AF, you guys, man, I don't know how we can beat that gun. I mean, that is a great action, great trigger, great stock. And you know that gun's 3450, but I can put it in a chassis for you guys for 3750. And the new Neo or Neo, I call it, chassis from Graybow is pretty damn nice. It's got M-locks everywhere. Build some off Bighorn origin. Dude, Southern, I will, man. You know, Bighorn is a great fucking action, dude. You know, and they're not so Southern Coyote, not correcting you or anything like that. I mean, you can call them pre-fit, but they're really not pre-fit. They're called fitted shoulder barrels. So they won't fit on any. I mean, they won't fit anywhere. Obviously, neither will a pre-fit, but they're called fitted shoulder because you don't have a nut and they're shouldered just like a regular barrel. But with bighorn actions and impact actions, they are so fucking tight you can do that. I agree, dude. Bighorn action is also hell yeah. Yeah, Brian uses bighorn actions a lot, and that's another reason I went with impact. I didn't go with impact. You know, they're great people out of Tishomingo, Oklahoma, down there in Blake Shelton country, and they're great to visit with. My buddy uses them a lot. I like the hell out of them. They really worked with me when I wanted to buy them in bulk, and so that's why I went with impact. But Brian, not saying he only uses bighorn, but he does a lot of action, or he does a lot of work off of bighorn actions, and I just, you know, it's kind of I wanted to do something a little different, you know. Yeah, it will be a bitchin' rifle. See you, Tom. That was Tom Winkler. I know him very well. Great friend, great buddy. Give that sucker a hug every time I see him. He's on here on the app. Well, anyway, guys, so that was a pretty good little deal. You know, we talked about a lot of stuff. We had a lot of fun. We talked about the calls. We talked about the guns. And we talked about our mission, most importantly. This has been a great podcast, and I interacted a lot with the people on the app, and that's what I'd like to get to from now on. A lot of PRS shooters use impact actions. Yeah, and the reason why is when they cook them fucking barrels up, they can call me, they can call Brian, they can call anybody with any sort of knowledge whatsoever and have a barrel to them in seconds. All they got to do is spin that bitch on, put 60 pounds on it, boom, they're back to fucking action. Thanks, Billy. Billy just commented that people watching this needs to be watching this shit on the app. I appreciate that. And you know what? You guys need to spread the word, okay? Because I'm just getting started. You know, we got more stuff coming down the pipe. We got the new Axion Dog Soldier Predator Hunting Predator PRS scope coming. What that's going to do is it's going to be pretty much the Dog Soldier scope, but it's going to have a 34 millimeter tube, 50 millimeter barrel, side focus. It's going to have target turrets, at least 67 up, down, right, and left. Probably a 4x24, and it's going to be a first focal plane instead of a second focal plane. So, and it'll be right there about the $399 price point. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of cool shit with the Dog Soldier brand and some of the companies I work with, and we really like to continue to do so. So spread the word, join the app, get on the fucking app. It's $3 a fucking month. I wish I could say I was getting rich off the app because I'd never do anything in the world besides sit on here all day and bullshit with you guys. But it just pays for itself, and I appreciate you guys' support. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Danny. Danny Littleton, it's good to see you around. Yeah, Dave, I don't know where he's driving. He sent me a video a while ago. Send me a test model. Send me a test model. Send me a fucking check. I wish I had enough money to have sponsored shooters. Sterling Justice, famous, and Jason Stearman, I pay them guys when I can and a little bit. I don't like free labor, and I definitely don't like, hey, I'll send you a gun. But, you know, Southern, why don't you shoot me a message? If you're shooting PRS matches and stuff like that, maybe I can figure out a way to sponsor you a little bit. I will be honest with everybody right now. I don't sponsor a lot of events and I don't sponsor a lot of people. The reason why is because there's not 10 million predator hunters in the United States, but I reach 10 million sets of unique eyeballs every year. I pretty much reach everybody, it seems like. And with the TV show and the app and everything else and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all this other bullshit is my complete life. The problem I found with sponsoring people is I don't like free labor. It's more of a personal thing. I don't like, hey, I want this, but I'm only going to give you $100, or I want this, or I'm going to give it to you at cost, or I want this. The problem with that is I've held a very strong personal opinion on free labor, and I call it child labor, throughout my career. I don't like people to do shit for free, which means it limits me. Because as a company, I could have hand calls in everybody's hands. I could have a grassroots campaign. I could sell you guys for 25% off. I would rather give the app 25% off just because I love you guys than expect something in return. Because I just can't sleep at night getting shit for free. If Southern calls me or messages me and said, hey, man, I'm shooting PRS matches. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'll knock a little bit off the gun, but it won't be much. And the reason why is I do have to make a living, and I'm not a big company. But for another standpoint is I want people to use my shit because they believe in it. I want people to use my shit because they've paid for it with their hard-earned money. And I want people to use shit because it's good quality shit. If I start giving shit around, then all I am, and no offense to anybody, but all I am is turning you guys into a bunch of whores. I could have 500 field staffers in a snap of a finger in 3 days. I could have enough calls in 3 days built to have 500 people sponsored by Dog Soldier. And I would flood Facebook, and I would flood Instagram, and I'd flood everything in the predator hunting industry. It's people I already reach, but it would be, but at the end of the day, when somebody looks you in the eye and says, why are you using that Dog Soldier Legend 2J? I don't want you to say because I'm sponsored by him. I want you to say because I work my fucking ass off as an American in this great country, and after I paid my house payment, after I paid for my kids' shoes, after I paid for my fucking cable bill, after I paid for my fucking truck, I took $30 and went to coyotecallsfucking.com, coyotefuckingcalls.com, and bought that shit because I believe in it. With that being said, I'm Steve Crowner, the Dog Soldier. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Thank a fucking veteran, because without them, I'm telling you right now, none of this fucking shit is possible. Peace out, motherfuckers.